Flosstube, my name is Laura and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. If you get a chance and you'd like to, maybe hit like and subscribe. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking your time to come hang out with me. There are so many fabulous floss tubes out there and so much eye candy of things for us to see. And so when you choose to hit that play button and hang out with me, it really does mean quite a bit. And for those of you who are here on a weekly basis, thank you so much. I really, I can't even tell you what it truly means to me. So thank you. I love cross stitch and I love sharing it, and I love sharing it with all of you. August 1st. We are at August 1st today. I can't believe it. I'm not sure what happened to July. It is just completely gone by. But, you know, we just kind of keep going and just enjoy each day as the time marches on. So let's talk cross stitch. I did have, if you noticed or may not have noticed, or your feed of watch laters or notifications has gotten so long, because I hear you, I am way behind as usual in watching some people's videos, but I did do an extra video on Tuesday, and it was the flip through of the 2025 Just Cross Stitch Halloween do they call it collector's issue? Yeah, special collector's issue. So if you would like to see that, then just pop on by the video before this one and you'll find that there. I also have an entire playlist of flip throughs. So maybe you get one of the I've been doing this, I think, since spring of 2024. So maybe you pick up one of those magazines in the future and you want to see a flip through and thoughts about different ways maybe to do some of the stitching, then you can always go hop back and watch one of them. They will be there in the playlist. Alrighty, so that is the extra. Let's get going with the stitching. It's kind of a gloomy day, so I've got to kind of get the cobwebs out of my brain and get myself going. I do have green tea, so this is the extent of my caffeine generally when I drink my green teas, and I always do it in the morning because I'm a bad enough sleeper as it is, and caffeine can even little bits of it can throw me off. So I'm a morning green tea drinker. Alrighty, so I have one start, one finish, and then just a whole bunch of stitching in between. I did do Christmas in July. However, I didn't just do Christmas in July. Each week I threw in Christmas pieces. This week I did a couple that I had repeated so they could get some more stitching, and just to see what I could get done in the month. I didn't do my final numbers yet, so maybe this weekend I'll do some of that for what I did for Christmas stitching. So this first couple are not Christmas. We're just doing some all the time stitching. So if I go to, this is a digital, so I need to go here and look at my projects list. Alrighty, I started this one last year. This is Mary Poppins, and it is from Lina Ova. Now, if you are new, you'll notice I don't have any of that outline. Do you see this gorgeous outline here? It's beautiful, but it didn't quite work for me with this stitch, so I chose not to stitch it. There's a cute little pattern around the outside of that part, and that's enough for me. So that's why you're going to see that. I have not kind of marked it all off yet on my pattern keeper, so I don't know my percentage. Obviously it's skewed because I'm not stitching that, but then I would at least know how much percentage I have left. So I did put this one on the board. I tried to put my full coverage, but it's bigger than the board, the fabric. So I was like, oh, that's not gonna work. This is 18 count Uranus from Under the Sea Fabrics, and showing you as a whole. So you can see I've done 3 of the 4 corners. I just have the 1 corner left because this is the bottom right here. So again, too, I've also saved myself some space for stitching or for some fabric. This here, I had some mistakes. I had to go back and fix all that. So that took me some time. I did work a little bit here. I think I did some more building, and then I actually did some more of I've been slowly trying to do this, obviously around Mary's block is a pretty extensive kind of border thing, and I've not yet figured out the best route to do it. I thought I had last time I pulled this out, last month, I think, and then I forgot what I did. So I kind of struggled a little bit with that. I want to say none of the other borders are quite as thick or as chunky or as extensive as this one. So I've been trying a little bit to get that done because otherwise it's never going to get done. I also kind of I brought some down here, brought some down here, did quite a bit of this building right here. So as usual, I popped around to literally all three of the blocks so far. I am incapable of staying in one section and finishing it and then moving on to another section. It's just not possible. I like to see it all come alive at once. Plus, I don't know, sometimes I just don't feel like doing one section. I'm like, I just want to do the other. So there is a hashtag for this. It's hashtag Lina Ovasal. It's an ongoing hashtag that you can use whenever. And there's a lot of fun Lina Over patterns out there. I've got this one going, and I've got Cinderella going. I'm trying to think if that's it. I do own, I want to say, I don't know if it's Sense and Sensibility. I just want to do one section of it. I do own Anna Green Gables. And there might be one or two others that I might have picked up along the way. But I will strategically pick and choose where I want to stitch some of that stuff. So that's always fun, because if there's one part of it that you just really like, but all the rest of it doesn't work for you, just go with that. This is just... Nope, I'm not going to use that word just, because DMC is fabulous on its own. This is DMC, I want to say 839. Is that a navy? Where's my bag here? Let me see. I think that's the deep navy that almost looks black. Yes, no, 939. Oh, I was so close. 839 might be browns, I'm not sure. But 939. So you can see it's definitely a deep navy. I wanted kind of to be a contrast, the same color scheme as my fabric, but just darker. So this one got its 500 stitches for the 4th week rotation. So now it is done. And again, sometimes they come out for special times if it's not their week. If I have like a really good prompt and it fits perfectly, then I'm going to pull it out. If you're new, I like to play a lot of stitching games. It's just fun for me. And I'll be honest, because I'm going to show you my little notebook when we get to the plans. The joy of using markers and colored pencils and all different colors and coloring things in is half of the fun for me for actual challenges. I love making lists pretty, and so if you tell me I can use a colored pencil or a Sharpie somewhere, I am a very happy person. Which means you may see it sooner, or it may not come out until 4 weeks from now. All right, so then my second one is Lighthouse, and this is from the Fabulous House series, Cottage Garden Samplings. It was number 8, and that's what it looks like. And let me show you where I am. Here we go. This is 18 count Compelling Conchis from Those Missing Stitches. And I focused all on the Lighthouse. When I picked it up, see this darker color here? I didn't even have all of that in. So I did all of that darker color, filled in that. I did just the border, almost, not completely, of the white layer. That's just going to be white stitching. So I figured that's perfect for when I need some fill-in stitching. And then I decided to come down here. This one does have, I think it has a design. Oh gosh, yes it does. I couldn't even see it there's actually, in person you can see it. And it's also kind of a dark day. But I then did the darker color in here and then filled it. So that layer is actually done too. There'll now be another white layer. So I will again do kind of the outline. Then we have some windows from there. But some of those that are just straight color, I'll just do outlines and then keep going with the Lighthouse. This is the base of it. This one will be a square. I don't know if they're all squares. I haven't looked at them close enough. I don't know if I have any here. No, I don't. They might be. They probably are, because they can be done all in one piece of fabric, right? So that would make sense that they'd all be the same. So this one is a little bit different size than I did the, it was the penguin, not the penguin, the seagull on the shore. I'm looking at it because I have it on my shelf over there, and that one's rectangular. So I did it also on Compelling Conchis, thinking that the two of them would be kind of nice together, but they'll be two different shapes. So this whole thing has to be repeated over here, which is very cool now that it's done, but every single one of these had a design, so I'm kind of dreading it, kind of putting it off. So what I need to do first is I'll probably do the border all the way over. I need to, next time I pull this out, just do that, and maybe start with some of that and then do a little bit in between all of the other stuff. I mean, because the water's going to be easy once you have the outline and the whale and even the ship. Everything else will be pretty easy, but that's going to be the hardest part for me. Now, this one, I had started stitching it, I want to say last year. There was a stitch along called Let Your Lighthouse Shine. I believe that was the whole hashtag. And I have to look it up and see. And that plays into my August plans. So you very well could see this again, not the lighthouse part, but the Sal part. You probably will actually see this one again in August. So quite a few of mine, well, I went through and probably one, just not as small as a quarter, but maybe not quite as 1/3, because with my full coverages, that kind of skews the numbers, but almost 1/3 of my 84 whips are projects that I am stitching either with a Sal, with friends, with something or other. So I have lots to choose from in August when I want to do some of that kind of Sal stitching, but we'll talk about that in plans. Another one you may very well see, a lot of these, I'm drawn to the ones that I stitch with friends. So, you know, then you end up seeing them. This one here is Arabesque, and it is from Jan Hicks Creates. And I was watching Peggy from Peggy's Still Stitching, and Peggy is, oh my gosh. What is so cool about this pattern is I'm not sure I've seen, of all the people I've seen stitching it, I'm not sure I've seen it the same way ever, which is so cool. There's so many possibilities for fabric and for floss and what other kind of combination, monochromatic or not, that you can go with this, that really the sky's the limit. So Peggy was showing this in her last video that I was watching, and she has the coolest color combination. I love, if you like somebody who really has a good sense of color and what fabrics to choose, and she does like hand-dyed fabrics like I do. And I believe Peggy is an 18 count stitcher like I am. For those of you who like to stitch it on Aida, then I would definitely watch her. Although her work is so beautiful, everybody should watch her. But she has an awesome sense of figuring out what color fabric to do with the pattern. And so it's very enjoyable. If you want to see somebody who really gets color, I would say watch Peggy. And the color she chose for her fabric for this piece and the combination is gorgeous, is all I can say. So I was watching Peggy. That's all a long-winded way to say that. Then I wanted to stitch this. So I pulled it out and said, okay, I'm going to do some stitching on it. I have a piece cut out of this fabric, so when I go to show it, maybe if I fold it over, it'll work. There's a little piece that's hanging down. So here's mine. Mine is actually very traditional. Of everybody that I have seen stitching it, mine's probably the most traditional, which is really kind of funny if you know me and my stitching. This is 18 count. It's an unknown fabric. It didn't have a tag on it. When I was buying hand-dyed fabrics in the beginning, you know, some of them were in plastic and the name was on the plastic, and I just didn't always keep it all, and it got kind of smudged, or not smudged, but kind of lost along the way. So I can't tell you. What I can say is the Floss is Stitchy Stuff Co. And I was thinking about this when I was making my notes. I meant to check. I want to say it's Elven Wine. You probably know as much as I do with this one. I am 99% sure it's Elven Wine. I don't know where the tag is right now. But Stitchy Stuff Co. is a favorite of mine. I like to just buy, I say, ooh, that color is pretty, and then I find ways to use it. I finished off the letter D, so we have all of our letters. Somehow or other, and I can't for the life of me, I spent ages figuring out, my D is a little skinnier than Jan's. I think by, I don't know, 1 or 2. And I counted and recounted, and I can't for the life of me figure out what I did. But it's fine. It looks like a D, and it's gonna stay there. And then I did all of the, no, I had that one done. I worked all of these down here. I did a little bit more on this as well. And I think I actually, yeah, no, because this whole section over here, I had not done at all. There was just a little bit here and that. So then all of this got done after the letter here. I am using the paper, so there's a page break-ish. I don't know if it's 2 or 4 page breaks, you know, somewhere around here. So that's a little dicey. I kind of need to figure out one letter, and then I can go the letters off each other. And I am just kind of working my way down here now. I may go back and do some of this fill in here. That's the last big element I have. And then I have all the letters, and then the final, I want to say the border, final bottom border is similar. Yes, it is. It's similar to this side border, which I enjoyed. Of course, I'll be stitching it this way instead. But so what was funny is, so I stitched on this, and then yesterday when I was watching Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, Beth had stitched it this week too. This top is a little bit big along the top, so it keeps falling down. So if you hate people that fuss with their clothes, well, you're not gonna like this video, because I think I'm gonna be fussing all day. Beth is doing it in a gorgeous, gorgeous variegated floss color. So you'll have to watch Beth to see it, and she works on it. She has been working on it every other month, but I think we're gonna get to see it more often, which is fabulous. And then Paula from Stitching in High Heels is doing it a completely different way, kind of like a Great Gatsby-ish vibe, and it's very cool. I know Beth, Paula, and I started it around the same time. I don't remember when Peggy started hers. But so fun, so amazing to see the different versions. And I like this one quite a bit. Now that I'm in the groove, I don't know. I think when I was doing this element, I thought it was never going to end. And so that was a little bit like, oh, you know how you get that point where it's beautiful and you've stitched it and stitched it and stitched it, and you're kind of done. You're kind of over that piece. So I'm glad that kind of big element and motif is done, because now we're really kind of hitting our stride with it. Still a long way to go, still a lot of stitching. I don't know how many though, because like I said, it is paper. Alrighty, this next one, I have a little finish. I snuck in at the very last moment for Charlie, Stitching with Charlie's just finished June and July, I believe it was. So it was for the month of June and July. Charlie was challenging us to finish our stitches, or full finish. I kept meaning to do that, and then I just kept wanting to stitch, so I did. I have a stack of scrapbook pages I really need to make, so one day I just need to have a scrapbooking day. So this was a set of 3. I didn't do all 3. This is from Soda Stitch, and I think it's called this is Delivery Series of Gnome. So that must be the official title. Now, I would like to stitch probably this little guy as well, because you know, I'm going to say, I'm not a cup of coffee, I'm going to say a cup of tea, because you know me, I love reading and tea. But that frog was so adorable that I decided I wanted to stitch this one right here. Now, if you watch Katie, Jeremiah's mom, then you will know that Katie and I have a hashtag Gnome Along, which basically means we're stitching gnomes from now until forever. And I have a pile. I have so many bigger gnomes going, and I love the Soda Stitch little gnomes, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm finishing them yet, but I'm just having fun stitching them. I really like Soda Stitch. She's got good color variations. So if you look at the hat, you can see the variety without a ton of confetti. So this beard has some, you know, kind of, I don't know if you call them highlights, lowlights, whatever you want to say, of different colors within, you know, just the white beard. But it's not like every other stitch is a different color to get so much variation. So it's a nice combination of blocks and then changing colors. But here's my little gnome, my book. I think I called it Book and Frog Gnome in my planner book when I was talking about starting. So he is done. That's my second Soda Stitch gnome that I have done. We have landscapers in the neighborhood this morning, so you may or may not hear some of that. If they get right outside my window here and it gets super loud, I may pause you, but if it's just a few houses over, I'm just going to keep it going. So if you hear that, you know, that lovely drone that just settles into your brain and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is ever going to end. That's pretty much what they're doing right now. But there's my finish. Yay. So I did get one more finish slid right in there before we got to the end of July. And to be honest with you, I'm running out of pieces that are very close to a finish. So Charlie, I think I know I have one more at least, but I think I've exhausted all of my close to finishes so that I can jump on your stitch along. All right, so next one. This one will not be finished for ages. This is Sampler Holidays Christmas, and it is by Blueberry Ridge Designs. And I started this one with Mary from Mary's Stitching Corner. Mary and I like to stitch a lot of things similar, so you'll see some of the same things if you watch her channel as well. And we're doing a completely different color scheme, which is really, really kind of neat. For some reason, when I looked at this, all I wanted to do was some sort of like pink and teal. I wanted to do something that was just a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit different. Oh, I think that's my neighbor actually doing the blower. You can't wait for the landscapers to do it. But so I went back and forth on what kind of pink and what kind of teal, and did I want more brights or did I want more kind of subtle? And I did go with, you know, not quite in your face pink, like really bright or really in your face teal. This was the lighter versions, and I'm really happy with it. So this is 18 count Doting Dora from Those Missing Stitches, and I ended up choosing DMC 3810. And I am, you know, kind of getting some of the border. I'm doing the fun stuff and then I do some border, fun stuff, some border, just because well, two reasons. One, I don't like just doing border. I get bored. And I'm not always convinced that I'm counting right. So the second reason is the counting part. I'll do some border, do some inner, and then I keep going back and forth to make sure everything is lining up properly. So in the end, when I get that last 2 bits of border, the thought is that unless I've messed up at the end, they should meet up. That's the goal, at least. And this one, well, what's good with this one is down here, you actually have the word Christmas, which I was asked, I don't know if I've said this before, I was asked, I am going to do the entire thing. I really do. I like this little element and I like the animal. So I will do the alphabet and the word Christmas. It's probably going in the scrapbook, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think I'm committed to the whole thing. But I finished, so did some border, finished here, finished this whole element, which was quite a bit, and then started, oh, I finished that. That's like a little ornament, and then, you know, kind of some little extra pieces along the way. So I was really pleased. I got quite a bit accomplished last time I pulled this one out. So we have, as you can see now, we're segueing into some of my Christmas in July, the last Christmas in July pieces I did, because now we're into August. I will continue to work on Christmas. I was hoping possibly before the end of the month to get back to my Cozy Cottage, Christmas, I don't remember what it's called, Cozy Christmas something, from Modern Folk, you know, the double piece I'm doing, because I think I'd like to get that one finished for Christmas. And I just kind of ran out of month. So I think on the 25th, that might be fun to pull that one out. This next one too actually would be fun because I could get this next one done by this Christmas if I wanted to, I think, because I'm not doing, well, this is first the Prairie Schooler, the 2025 Santa. So our most recent Santa out there. And I am not doing, if I bring it close, I'm not doing the kind of that border, the, you know, kind of the stitched border. I'm not doing the words. I'm not doing the pile of snowflakes or snowballs. I call it snowflakes every time. So I'm not doing those snowballs or this one or any of the kind of lines that go with it. So my stitch from this is going to be Santa with the bag and one snowball that he's getting ready to throw. And that's all I'm going to do on this one. And really, block stitching, there's not a lot of color changes at all. I mean, there's only 6 colors to this thing to begin with. So how many changes could you make? And I will change the face. I have to look, Santa's gonna look strange because I don't have the face done right now. I have to look in my book to see last time I stitched on this fabric, what color I used. And Roberta, right? Roberta, I'm almost sure it's you that sent me a question about what I've used. I've got to pull my book out and I will get back to you. I need my book anyway to figure this out, but I will give you some of the things that I used for the different color fabrics, and then you can choose what works for you. So this is where I am. This is a scrap, 18 count, and I can show you. I have here, where is it? This guy I did before. You'll notice here, I think there was a word here. I'm going to put a snowflake brad. I have good size snowflake brad, so just a white brad right there, I think. So that's why it looks a little funny and doesn't look complete. If I wasn't going to do the brad, I would have just stitched some more snowflakes. But you can see I changed his face. I'm not a big fan of the mauvey pink faces that Prairie Schooler does. So I've changed every single one, but it depends on which color fabric I use. It's not always the same floss color because different fabrics will pick up the colors differently. So basically now I've just got the top of him done up through, I don't know if I've done, yep, I've done the entire brim of his hat. So we just have to do kind of the hat that way, and that will be done. Then we'll come over probably with the snowball and the arm, working our way down. And then, gosh, when it comes to Santa himself, I mean, literally it's the 3777, right? I think that's the red that they always use. There's that, and then the green trim until we get down to the boots. Really not a ton to do. I mean, let's put that in perspective, right? I mean, it's a few thousand stitches we've got probably, but it's all pretty straightforward, and it's just a matter of pulling it out. This one is not, I don't think any of my Prairie Schooler Santas, I'm sure there's a stitch along somewhere, but I don't know. Any of you stitchy friends, are you doing some sort of stitch along with Prairie Schooler Santas? Let me know so I can jump on board with that. I have probably 2 or 3 of the Santas that I stitched fully finished that go on the tree at Christmas. My original idea was to finish them all the same exact way. I kind of don't like that idea anymore. I want variety. I think there's 2 that are finished that way. So let's stitch, do some more, even if they're on the same fabric, a different way. So I have 2 or 3 of those that I have to finish, and then if I can get the second blue one done, then I'd have 2 on the blue that maybe could finish similar ways just because they're the same fabric. So we'll see on that one. But I just need to figure out what I want to do. They're bigger, right? So they take up more space, and so it kind of, how I want to finish them is always kind of a little bit up in the air. All right, my next one is my Whip into Shape piece. This is Christmas Town from Stitchrovia. And this is the piece that I pulled out to do for Andrew, the Runner Stitchers. Let me put down Andrew's name. Kind of running stitching challenge. If you watch Flosstube, I'm sure you've seen somebody who's doing this challenge because we all love Andrew and we're rooting him on. He is training for the Australian Marathon. I don't know if it has a specific title, at the very end of August. And here comes my neighbor again. You'd think he would have had it the first time around. So he's training, and whatever he does in miles, I multiply times 10. I know some people multiply times 26.1, which good on ya. I don't have it in me to do that much on the one piece, but I multiply by 10 and then I stitch. Now, Andrew had an unfortunate little break there for a little bit, and I took that as a break from my stitching. However, I've got it in my back pocket, and so if I do some extra over over what I have, you know, that he's run in a week or whatever, I know how much mileage there was that he would have run. And so I'm kind of just deducting any extra that goes. But, you know, rests are good too, so that's okay if I don't end up getting that. But I think I can't remember when I'm caught up through my book here. I don't know if I colored it all in. I know, let's see, July, that would be July. I have at least through the 25th. Oh, those were the rest days. Yeah, I've stitched a little bit more since then. So I'm not 100% sure where I am at this point with his running mileage. But we are just plugging along. I got tired. I still have a bunch of white to do over here, but I've ended up filling in over here. So, well, definitely did that color. So I picked out that beige, and I know there's some over here. And then I think I picked out the orange. At this point, what I'm doing is I'm picking out a color and trying, if I can, unless it's too much counting off of other things, I'm trying to kind of zero out that color, so to speak, and just get it all finished. I think what did I check? Maybe 1,200 stitches. Last week, I think I had, what I said I had was probably a little bit more than I did. But I know I have at least 1,000 stitches left in this piece. So you're going to see it for several weeks yet to come. I still think, though, I could get this one finished. I will obviously put it on the front burner rather than the back burner of stitching to get it done so that I have it finished by August 31st, which I guess technically August 31st marathon in Australia would be August 30th for me. So I have to take that into account, the time change. Okay, this next one. I did it. I know some of you probably thought it's not finished, but the stitching's done, so that's something. I know some of you thought I wasn't going to pull this one out. This little guy, I know, I am making a mountain out of a mill hill kit, but, you know, sometimes we just do that. This is Evergreen. It's Evergreen Sleigh. Part of the Sleigh Ride Charmed Ornaments series from Mill Hill. And the reason I started it is this cute little white dog that just reminds me of our chamois, who we miss every single day. Even, gosh, we lost him in 2022, and we still miss his little smile and his little hugs and all of that. So that's why I'm stitching this. Now, this is my first ever Mill Hill, and I'm milking it, completely milking it. And I see everybody else when they do their Mill Hills just starting and finishing, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what my problem is. But yay, the stitching is completely done, as is the back stitch. I know if you see in this picture, you'll see a couple little birdies up. See the little birdies up here? I made an executive decision to not stitch them because while they look cute here, there was so much back stitch on the birds, and I just wasn't sure how it would look in real life. You know what I mean? So I said, I don't really need the birds up there, and I chose not to do it. Now, I know on the nose and the eye of the little doggy does need French knots. We all know my documented history of not being able to do French knots. I may have a friend do it in the end if I can't do them. But I'm not worried about that because there's no beads over there, so that's not going to affect it anyway. So next time I pull this one out, I am going to officially do something beaded work. I did unofficial beads on a couple of my trading cards, but I was just kind of winging it and doing whatever I wanted. This is the actual first official sort of planned bead. And there's an awful lot of bead. There's 2 different packs of beads in here, color schemes, and so I'm really interested to see how all this works. But that's the last thing this needs to do. So I'm using the kit floss. This is the perforated paper, which I actually really do like. I know some people are not a fan of it. I really enjoyed stitching on this. Yes, the holes are big, so sometimes, you know, if I wasn't paying attention, the needle would just fall right back out again. But I found it very relaxing to stitch on perforated paper. So I could see doing something just because I'm perforated paper and being perfectly happy. Anybody want to take bets if it'll be done by Christmas? If you are, bet against it being done. I'm just saying. This thing's been lingering for over 2 years. Why would I finish it in 4 months now? I don't know. So just a little friendly tip. Okay, this next piece here is the full coverage that I had pulled out. You saw it last week. I wanted to give it one more week, so now it'll get put away. This is actually a Christmas piece, which is my only Christmas full coveragey one. I didn't necessarily plan it that way. I just felt like I wanted to stitch it. And so it's the Steampunk Fairy Christmas. And it is charted by Stitches So Beautiful. The artwork is by Adne L Studio. I am doing the regular size. I know there is a mini, and I don't know if there's a max color. I'm doing the medium, middle, whatever, regular size. And this series of fairies does have a set of 3. I've only bought this one because I think this is the only one that really calls to me. One of them is more golds and kind of creams, I think. But the red, her red just really popped. So that was why I wanted to do this one. Am I in any red yet? No, I am not. I've done the 2 top corners. So this is, I know the full width. That's the width. And I don't think I did anything on this side. So I'm just going to fold it over. As usual, I did 2 things. One, I would pick symbols and whatever color that was, do a little bit of fill in, see if I could put it anywhere else. But when I got tired of that, and you know, I sometimes what I do with my full coverage, they're always on Pattern Keeper. And I can see the screen on Pattern Keeper better at night than I can paper patterns. Even with lighting my eyes have never liked the nighttime. Like, if you drive with me at night, especially if it's raining, it's an adventure. But so I find that I like to do the full coverage at night, and sometimes each night I'll just do a little bit, and that means I kind of jump around. But I would do a symbol, maybe 2, and then I'd be over it because I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is taking me forever. Let's do something else. And then I would jump and find some grays to work on. It's not 100% done, but quite a bit more of the open confetti is done on this section. I really like how you can definitely see that kind of lighted window there in the corner, which is nice. And I have maybe over here we start her wings. I think I'm getting ready to do some wing, which is really kind of cool. And then lots of different grays. I know when I was looking, each of the grays has like 5,000 stitches left or things like that. So there's a lot up top to do. I mean, at the bottom of her, it's all kind of snow that she's standing on with, so whites and grays. That will be fun. I don't know how fun that's going to be at the end. But the only saving grace there is that it'll be the end and I'll want to push. Who knows if I'll ever even get to that point. I think this one was just under 5%. And I don't stick with just one full coverage. So, there's that too, right? So who knows? We may never even have her standing on the snow. My full coverage, I like to do 18 count, 2 strand over 1 full cross. I had completely just blanked out on what I say all the time when I show full coverage. So I do have the next one that I've picked out. I don't know if I'm going to do it for the entire month of August or if I'll pull it out for 1,000 stitches or maybe 2,000. I don't know. It's one of my smaller ones compared to this. So we'll see how I'm going. If I'm really enjoying it and enjoying the vibe, maybe I'll do it the whole month, but I'm not going to pigeonhole myself. Okay, this next one. Okay, yes, of them I have officially decided this is the one I like the least. July's Delphinium from Cottage Garden Samplings. It's the series of 12 garden journal series. And I did not finish it. I'm pretty sure this, that's really not the spoiler, right? The spoiler alert would have been that I had finished it because I had so much to do. I completely finished this flower right here, which I know doesn't seem like a lot. I also did, yep, all of the greenery around it. So now we have a big leaf down here. Those are going to be super easy to do. I'm not really worried about that part, to be honest with you. But I did all 5 colors, and there's a lot of different changes and small things, so I missed some and had to go back. But I got that one done. Now we have 5 colors on this one that I have to, one of the colors might be done. I might have just done one of them, but I've got all the others to do. I really feel like if I just buckle down when I do pull it out and try to get that done, this will go fast. The words go pretty fast. I had mentioned last time I was debating on doing a line of pink, a line of purple, a line of, I'm not sure if I like that idea. What I might do is do 2 lines of the pink and then see if I feel like I need some purple in here. And then I would do 2 lines of purple. I don't think I'd like the alternating though. This is 18 count Cendre blue from To Die For fabric. This is the first one this year that I did not finish in its month. So it will get put away-ish, and I will pull out this week. I'll pull out August. And if I have time in a month, maybe I pull this out. Maybe I pull it out for a challenge. I mean, if there's a letter J somewhere, it would be perfect for that. Or I think I have just through October I have to finish. Once that's done, I'll have a couple months of the year, and I can do it then if I want. Your guess is really as good as mine now. This one, I felt like pulling some more time out because Helen D, I just keep thinking about her finish. I am nowhere near a finish, will not be done by this year, to be honest with you. There's no way it'll get finished, maybe next Halloween. But Helen's just looks so fabulous that I just kept thinking about it and I said, I need to pull it out again because I know you saw it a couple weeks ago, but it happened again. Witch's Hollow. This is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. All the orange you see is not stitched, but everything else is. I started up at the top, so I am still embroiled in full coverage stitching. I haven't really gotten to the part where my orange starts showing. Any orange you see is just I haven't stitched it yet. Let me see if I can. It's a tad brighter than that. It's a very cloudy day today, so I don't know if you're gonna. It's not gonna pick up the brightness, but there is a bit more of a bright. This feels like a bit more like burnt sienna-ish to me. So amp up the brightness one or two, and that would be what the color is. Because as you bring it closer, it kind of washes it out a little bit. Just kept filling in, to be honest with you. I did some of the moon around the witch, did some over here, and then just kind of, this one I am to a certain degree. The only reason, right now it's all filled in up here, but before you saw jumps because I was taking one color and going with it and jumping around, but now I'm just starting to kind of continue to fill in. Next time I'll probably come over here to the moon. It's hard to see right now on the camera, but there is some yellow here, so that will get, it'll obviously show once the moon is filled in there. So that would be my next, and then I'll just keep filling in here. I like pulling this one out for 2 different things. One, on the 13th of the month, which I kind of do Halloween stitching. So this one has a tendency to come out for that. And then I also like to do it for the 23rd of each month, which is my pumpkin birthday day. My actual birthday is the 23rd of October, and my October month stitch along is pumpkin birthday stitch along. So that one technically does not have any pumpkins on it, but that is pumpkin colored fabric, and I started that one on my birthday last year. So any of my pumpkin pieces I like to bring out a lot of times on the 23rd as well. All right, this one right here is, I don't know why this one came out. Maybe I was just in a fall mood. I mean, I've heard people start to talk about fall stitching now. I mean, I'll stitch whatever, whenever, but I know some people who are seasonal stitchers are starting to get into that fall kind of autumn vibe. This is Sampler Seasons, the autumn one. Now, if you do watch Mary from Mary's Stitching Corner, Mary finished this one several months ago. We started it at the same time. I went with kind of I actually picked fabric that was similar. It's a little darker than the called for, but I did choose to go with a more kind of a brighter sort of look for the floss. This is Stitchy Stuff Co. It's called Fire Lily, which I really, really like. And again, that's kind of washing out the fabric. This is 18 count. It's called Dragon's Lair, and it's from Bestitchme. And I think it'll be a nice foil. Once this is done and cut down, this will go in the scrapbook. My plan is to do all of the seasons, but I do not want to start another one until this one's finished. It's kind of like how I treated the Jardin Privé or the, I always want to say Stone Street, and it's not. It's Summer House Stitchworks, those seasonal ones. Finish one, then start another. But that's where this one is. And I was working on it kind of at night. I really want to finish this pumpkin. It's a big one, but I wasn't able to see the pattern as well. So I really didn't do much over here. I did a lot over on this section. So at this point, all the houses are done, and the element behind the house, except for, you can see I have a couple of over here. These have to come over in a few other spots. I didn't get to all of it. And I think what I might do is kind of do one part of the border and then start filling in. Do I have a mistake somewhere? No, I don't think on this one. I don't think I have a counting error on this one. There's quite a few this week, I think, that I had counting errors on. So, you know, that kind of slows things down too. But that's what it looks like. I really do enjoy this one. And I could definitely see it coming out in August, again, when we talk about plans, which we will in one more, because I have one last piece to show you, and that is my start. Yay! So, you know, and did I write down? I saw on comments people who said they were starting it. Do you think I wrote down all the names? No, I have not. I need to go back and write down, because when I look at the comments, I don't have the pen and the paper where I'm at with it's a thing. I have notebooks for everything. It's really kind of crazy. So I know I'm going to miss several people who are stitching this, and I would just ask you to please forgive me. You are not forgotten, and you are just as important. I just didn't write the names down because I didn't go get the notepad. So that's the only reason. Snack-o-lantern, boomerang stitches, super, super cute. I was in a room at the Spring Mingle, the Lindy Stitches event, which I think today the tickets go on for the September event. Can't remember what it's called. I think I'm going to buy the tickets. I didn't go to Midsummer because we had family that weekend, and I knew I really wasn't going to go on. I might get the a ticket for the Spring Mingle. For the fall. I don't know what it's called. And then pop in if I can. That's the weekend before my anniversary. So I don't know if we're doing anything, but we wouldn't be doing anything all weekend anyway. We're not going away or anything. So I should have time to pop on. However, again, I digress. Spring Mingle, one of the rooms I was in, everybody decided we were going to start it. And I don't know if the plan was to try to get it finished by this September one. A lot of people started it after Spring Mingle. I wasn't. I was planning on starting it July 31st with Karen, the Stitching Owl. Her and I kind of settled on that date. And so it's probably could get finished by, well, no. I was going to say if it was by Halloween, I could get this one finished. Probably not in the 7 weeks before the event that is Lindy Stitches. But here's mine. Let's just talk about it. I'm so excited. I know you're like, blue. Okay, I know it's you, Laura, so I know blue is on the table. However, blue, because I know I was talking purple, purple, purple all the way. I was so set on purple with the potential of kind of a lime green. Remember, I threw that out there. I did the floss tosses, wasn't loving it, so I was back on purple. I pulled out all my purples. I couldn't. None of the purples were what I was seeing in my head, and I was concerned about some of the shades of purple with the orange. They were kind of they weren't working together. And then I was thinking gray, and Karen, Stitching Owl, and I were chatting, and I had mentioned kind of gray because I wasn't sure about the purple, and she said she had looked at it, but then she was concerned about the raccoon, because if you see, there are some dark grays, but there's also some lighter grays that your fabric would touch. And she said she was going to use a blue. It's a lighter blue. I can't remember what she said. And then that got me thinking, blue. But I didn't want like blue. Like I wanted something that was a little bit different. And near the top of my piles, I must have recently gotten this ocean blue from Bestitchme. It was probably either a Friday Night Fight or, you know what, it was probably a ready to ship. I really like getting her stuff from ready to ship. And I said, ooh, what about this one? And I threw the colors on there, and look at how those colors look on this. Ocean blue, 18 count Bestitchme. I love it. Love it. And I think all of the colors are going to look so good on this. Not your traditional Halloween. Do I care? No. I think I was thinking about this because not everything gets displayed and put out. I feel such freedom when I go with colors of flosses and fabrics, because I don't care if it doesn't have to match. It doesn't have to match my walls, my decor, each other. You know, this may or may not go in the scrapbook. It might become a leaner because it's so darn cute. I might want to have it out, but it doesn't matter to me. I can just wing it. And I just love that. So I'm so thrilled. Karen, thank you so much for throwing out the idea of blue, because I would have stayed stuck on purple, and I've seen some purple choices that are beautiful. I think if you go with purple, I think you're going to be spot on with it, but I just couldn't feel it with my purples. And so this one came up, and I just said, oh yes. So Karen is stitching it. Melanie from Uplift Stitches is stitching it. Helen D is stitching it. And then I saw this morning on Instagram, Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe is also stitching it. And she got a cute little start in it yesterday. So fun. And like I said, I know there's many more of you, and I am sorry that I have not said your name. But please, if you're on my Facebook page, please show me pictures along the way. I love to see your stitching on the Stitching by the Shore Facebook page. It's really a place for us to see your stitching, because you see my stitching a lot. I want to see yours. We want to highlight and really celebrate you, all of you on the page. So that's where it is. And really fun. I mean, Boomerang Stitches, you know, I've got the ruby-throated hummingbirds that I'm also doing from Boomerang, and she just has a fabulous, her designs are block, but then change color, block, change, and so there's that great mix of changing colors that's not confetti, as well as some block stitching. And it kind of depends what's feeding your stitching soul at that moment. What's your need? Do you need just some gentle block stitching? Do you need some changing of colors? She's got it in her patterns. So I love the Boomerang patterns. Yeah, so that is my stitching. Woo! That's what I had this week. So what are my plans? August. Well, first we need to talk August challenges. Whoops. So we pull out my challenge book. It's so funny because I was thinking to myself, I love this book. You can tell. So like this page here, I have markers on the other side, but the pages are thick enough that the markers don't go through. And not all of these kind of bullet journal notebooks do that. So that was kind of a really important thing that I wanted. I finished my I Spy. I finished the cross sticks for Magazine Monthly, as well as Crafts and Books. I got 7 categories prompts. How many did I do for Christmas in July? I had 12 different Christmas in July pieces. I just have to check those stitches. So moving forward, we have I Spy for August all set. If you're in my Facebook group, if you go to the events section, you will find all of the prompts. However, you do not have to be on the Facebook page. If you go, and I'm holding it up here, if you can read my writing, I'm not sure. You can already see what I'm picking for my first, so you know something you'll see next week. If you can read my writing, you're more than welcome to screenshot it. But if you go to my Facebook page, not my Facebook, my YouTube channel. So Stitching by the Shore, you go to the main channel, you know, you have videos, playlists, whatever. There's a community tab. If you click on that, every month at the beginning of the month after I go straight from the events section of Facebook right over to the community tab on YouTube, and I put all the prompts. So this way, we already know you're on YouTube because you're watching me. Just go to that community prompt. It'll give you all of them. I will never with these expect you to be part of Facebook or wherever, you know what I mean? Like it is always open to everybody, regardless of where you want to spend your time online. Linen is the magazine monthly acrostic. I don't do their themed ones. I just do the acrostic. Crafts and books, I don't have it written yet because I just saw Beth put it out. It's Dog Days is the acrostic if you're looking to do that one. And then, you know, I do my different events, Dark 13, Pumpkin Birthday, Christmas, Focus event. This month we're doing Cinderella, whatever the Stride and Sal. So then we have Abandoned Sal. That is being hosted by Kenny Stitches. And my marker. What happened to my pen? There we go. I want to make sure I put Kenny's name down. I'm taking Kenny's idea, but I'm kind of morphing it into my own idea. Instead of using I love Abandoned Sal. That's an awesome name for it. I'm thinking of it as kind of Forgotten Sal, a little bit more than abandoned, because I haven't abandoned any of those projects per se. They just haven't been stitched on. So I went through my list of projects and I said, what am I stitching for a stitch along with friends, whether it's a hashtag or not, right? The hashtag, because they don't always work so much now. Now it's just stitching with a friend. And I consider that a stitch along, right? And I listed them all down. And some of them who I stitched with have finished it. So it's kind of a Forgotten Sal kind of thing, but I'm still working on it. Or maybe it's something I haven't stitched on in a while, or any of those ideas. Most of them have probably had work within this last year, so it's not technically abandoned. But I just thought it'd be fun to take this idea, and I'm taking Kenny's hashtag for my challenge page, and I am just gonna run with it. So anything that I have stitched with friends, with or without a hashtag, especially ones maybe that haven't gotten as much work this year, are going in my Abandoned Sal, kind of like a Forgotten Sal. So if you check out Kenny, I saw on Instagram, he was getting ready to get this whole thing started for the month. So much fun. I know some people are doing Arbitrary August, which is a fun one too. Categories for Whip Warriors, they did put their letters out. It was B and L. So if you are not part of Whip Warriors, but you want to try to practice playing the game, those are your letters. If you watch, Lisa, Shady Trees, she puts it under her Shady Trees. Let me put that down. Lisa and Jenny usually at the beginning of each month will go through all the different types of prompts that are in Whip Warriors. They go through my I Spy prompts, a couple other groups, and they talk about what they're going to do. You will see all of these category prompts listed, or Lisa will talk about them, and they're the same for the entire year. So once you have 1 month's worth, you're fine. Then you know all of them. The letters are just what changes during the course of the year. So if you were interested in playing along with that. Then on the 19th of August, the Red-Headed Stitcher, let me make sure I link her Flosstube. Her birthday is the 19th of August. And so she is doing a stitch along with any of the Leela Studio Quakers. So my options are either spring or autumn. No, spring or summer. I don't know where I have well, I might have autumn, or I plan on stitching all four at some point. But on that day, the 19th, she's encouraging all of us to pull out our Leela Studio Quakers and stitch along with her birthday. So that is on the calendar as well. And I think, the octopus from Love Poppet, I want to start this weekend. I don't have the exact color fabric picked out yet. However, I know I kind of want not the deep blue that you saw with Snack-O-Lantern, but I want a brightish blue. I think that these colors would look really nice against that. So I don't know if something like Dive In from Bestitchme, or I'm going to go through my blues and see what else I have. We will see on that. But that is a weekend start this weekend too. And I do want to finish getting in the Quaker Whale. I have the paper pattern, and I'm inputting it all so that I can put it into Pattern Keeper in WinStitch. And I've kind of gotten a block on that one, so I need to get back to do that. I was looking in my stuff over here, and I was thinking I was supposed to start this last August, and I did not. It's not a huge one, but the sampler of the sea, and this is from Carriage House Samplings. So if anybody else has this on their list to do this month, let me know. And that I have the DMC already pulled for it. It's been pulled since last year, so it really needs a stitch at this point. If you were going to stitch it, let me know, and I'd be happy to throw that in my plans as well. It's funny, it changes from month to month, but it seems to average approximately 5 to 6 starts a month. So that is generally, and who knows, it could easily be more, and I'm okay with that. Alrighty, so there is that. That's my challenge book. But I was saying, I was getting kind of worried about the fact that I love this book so much that the markers don't bleed through. So I've already bought my, I didn't have it with me. I didn't show it, but it was something that did come in this week because we're moving on probably to shopping anyway. I did buy next year's challenge book already, so I'm all set and ready to go. We are showing August today. This is Country Cottage Needleworks. It's part of the Cottage series. And so we pulled out August. I was looking through my list of projects, and I do have April. That is the only one that is not completely stitched. And I looked at it, and it's not a ton to it. There's a decent amount. I have the house to do, and then the bottom border. So it's not like there's nothing, but that could be done by the end of this year. That would be nice. So this way, then they could all be full finished by next year. Only March and April are left anyway. Everything else is fully finished. But that's this. I figured, it's August 1st. What a perfect time to put that out. And there we go. Alrighty, that is plans. Trading cards, none came in this week. So I think at this point, we've pretty much got all of them. If you have not heard me say your name, so every week that I've had a trading card, I show the envelope in the kind of mail section, happy mail section after plans. If your name was not said at all in any of these past 6-7 weeks of videos, that means I did not receive it. I showed each and every one. So reach out to me so that I can keep an eye out for it if I didn't receive yours. If that happens, we'll make sure you get a trade if it comes in later. So don't worry about that. Sometimes the post office does not get them to me, or they may end up back to you somehow. We always put our trust in, and most of the time the stuff comes in, but sometimes it doesn't. Having said that, I'm hoping the beginning of next week to do a Flosstube extra of the show and tell. I am so excited. And then once I do that, I clear out. I know I'm commandeering the dining room table because that way I will not be crawling on the floor. I think that's plenty of space in order to do. And once that happens, then Mo and I will start doing the swap kind of stuff and then get them out to you. Hopefully by, a couple weeks from now. Alrighty. So that's kind of the trading card news. Shopping wise, so except for that notebook, the only other thing I got in, surprising, is the fabric of the month from Bestitchme. So if you do not want to see, please look away. I'm going to say the name. Or no, I'm not going to say the name because that gives it away. And some people like to be completely surprised. I love spoilers. I'll read the back of a book. Yes, I know. I'm one of those people. I don't always, so don't get mad at me completely. But every once in a while, I'm like, I want to see what's going to happen. And then I can kind of, I'm not going to lie. So spoilers, I am absolutely okay with, but I know a lot of you like to be surprised. So look away. This is 18 count. This is what it's called. Let me show you in full. No idea what I'm doing with this. As you can see, I'm part of the colors group. Let me put it down. But you know what? I will have something that something will come up and I'll be like, I have the perfect fabric for that. That's where fabric of the month really comes in. I did get a notice that the Under the Sea fabric of the month for July was shipped, I believe. So I should have that for next week to show you. So I'll show you that next time around. Alrighty, so that's shopping. Woohoo! Life. That's all that's left is life stuff. So if you don't care about that, that's fine. I live a very uneventful life. Then I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Really was. I was thinking about, excuse me, what did I do this week? And I really don't remember. It was hot, like really, really, really hot. We had, heat advisories all week long because it was in the 90s, crazy humid. So you're talking, feel like temperatures in the hundreds all week long. So you'd step outside and you're just like, okay, I can't breathe. So I spent much of the week inside, not always stitching, just other stuff going on. But I can't say I did a lot out. I did have physical therapy. And so that went pretty well, actually. We are kind of evaluating what feels good and doesn't feel good. And for anybody who likes to work out, we've realized that something called isometric works really well for my muscles right now. So I'm excited to be able to work on strength and strengthening without aggravating things. I actually very often after physical therapy the next day, I'm very, very sore. And I was some sore, but not at the same level. So I have another kind of one of those versions of the workout that I have to do at home tomorrow. And if that feels good after those two, then he's going to retool a little bit of my workout plan because I do all my exercises every day. And that would be exciting because I want to get stronger without all the extra pain. So we'll see. But I'm thankful that he's listening to me when I say this doesn't feel great, but this I can do without the pain. Because that's all we want is somebody to listen to us and then work with us from there. But really, other than that, I can't say I did very much, to be honest. It was so hot that even the electric company, what they do is if you opt into it, which we do, if they have days of heat, what they'll do is they'll adjust your thermostat automatically and they put it up like 3 or 4 degrees between say 3 to 6 in the afternoon. All week long they did that. That's how hot it was. Usually it's a day, maybe 2, but all week they did that to kind of decrease some of the load on the electrical grids. But so I've been hot flashing a little bit more than normal just because it's warm, I think. So I've spent the week kind of being a little bit extra warm. But I do have a TV show. Yay, I haven't talked about one in a long time. And then I have book to talk about. So TV, let's talk TV first. I can't remember if it was on a Zoom or if it was somebody in person, but somebody recommended Sherlock and Daughter to me. It is on HBO Max. So if you don't have that, I apologize for giving the recommendation. But I know sometimes people, what they do is they do kind of like the trial and whatever. Sometimes there's specials that these stations will do. And so they get it for the length of a special for a month or 2, and they have a list of the shows they want to watch on it, and then they just cancel it. And then they wait till the following year to do the same thing. And the companies don't seem to balk at that. But Sherlock and Daughter, some of the faces of the people who were in it looked familiar, but I don't know exactly who was in it. I didn't look far enough to know. But Sherlock Holmes and potential or not potential, I'm not going to say anything about a daughter. And there is a overreaching, huge crime that the entire series, it's 8 episodes, goes to solve. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was good. I thought the storyline was good. There was a good level of surprise, and they definitely left it open. They didn't cliffhang it so much, like everything wrapped up, which is what I like, but they left some things kind of open, sort of cliffhanger, that would be perfect for a second season kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm excited. Hopefully there will be another season. I really did enjoy it. So if that's something that you like and you like kind of that vibe of a TV show, I would recommend it. Book, I ended up reading The Last Devil to Die, which is the 4th book in the Richard Osman series. And I brought the third one as well because I don't think it's called The Bullet That Missed. I don't think I talked about this when I read it. I read it probably a month ago or so. But if you know the series, this is the Thursday Murder Club series. The end of August, Netflix is going to show the movie. I believe there's a very limited run in the movie theaters, and I don't know if it's just in England or if it's here in the US as well. And then it's going to Netflix. And so I wanted to get, there is a fifth book. Mary, who's Mary's Stitching Corner, reads quite a bit. And I don't know if she was the one that originally told me about these, but she said that the fifth book, I believe, is coming out in September. So that'll be fun. These are a series that the first book really, it's a good book, but it's not, it's probably the least good book of the series so far. You know what I mean? Because you have the four main characters, and then you start learning all of these other kind of accessory characters. And so you have to learn so much, and we do different points of view, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot to kind of get into and learn and know about. And then book 2, 3, and 4 will take those characters. You learn more about them. You get more in depth about them psychologically and maybe some history, as well as then the accessory characters that you meet. Some of them carry through the entire series, and then we pick up some more. So somebody that we picked up in this book, The Bullet That Missed, you see in a small role in The Last Devil to Die. So it's kind of fun because then you get to continue to revisit some of the characters. I would say of the 4 books so far, Bullet That Missed was probably my favorite of the 4. And the only reason I say that, because this one was very good, Last Devil to Die, but this one went into some emotional areas that are a little difficult, maybe a little sad, a little bit challenging, but it made sense that the storyline was going there. So it wasn't like it was something thrown in just because. It actually made sense for it to be. It would have been ignoring reality if it didn't, kind of thing. So this one was a little deeper and a little heavier at spots, which made the other parts of the plot line maybe not as flowy as The Bullet That Missed, but I would certainly recommend it. And I am looking forward to book number 5. Now, I know last year he did start a new series. I can't remember what it was called. We Solve Murders, I think. I have not read that, but I've enjoyed his writing enough that I do think I want to read that one as well. But I would recommend this series. The cast for the movie looks phenomenal. I can't wait. I'm hoping I enjoy it. I mean, those are all very good actors and actresses, so the acting should be great. And I think he was involved in the making of the movie, the author, so I'm sure he did, hopefully, was able to make it, a 2-hour movie, encompass the book well. So I would recommend that series. It might be a little hard to get at the library now just because, with the movie coming out and everything else, but I would recommend. I did end up buying these because I think I'll read them more than once. In fact, I think before the movie, I might go back and read the first one for sure, and then maybe work my way through them again. So when I know I'm probably going to read a book more than once, I do have a tendency to potentially buy it, or if it's a specific author I really like. Otherwise, I do try to take advantage of the library, whether it's a hard copy or Libby listening. So that's my recommendations for TV and book this time around. That's all I got. So we are done. And of course, now it's completely quiet out there. Nobody, neither my neighbor nor the neighborhood landscapers are doing anything. And now we have to say goodbye. Well, I am off to drink some more of my green tea because, I need to wake up a bit more. But I hope you're well. I hope you are safe. Please take care of yourself. As always, please remember that you matter. You are important, and you are enough. You're important, and you just, I can't. I wish I could just, I know how difficult that is sometimes to remember or to feel, but I just wish I could give each and every one of you who are doubting yourself a big hug and say you matter. Until next time, happy stitching.